How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Good. It's crazy down there.
This is amazing, right?
So much fun, yeah.
Yo, I've never been to an open workout like this with a ramp, with a PA announcer, with the MMA hour here.
Yeah,
I mean, this
crazy.
is big business.
It's a big business, big show. The fans are out. The energy is up, man. I'm feeling good, so it's fun.
Okay, so a lot to talk to you about. It's very exciting to be here, but I was just saying as you were wrapping up, we all kind of wondered in February after the Fury fight, if that would be it. If you ever considered for a moment saying, you know what, this has been fun, I reached the end of the road, let me go make my millions somewhere else, let me do my thing. Did you ever for a moment consider that?
Yeah, no, that was definitely a thought because you have to process that thought to double down and reconfirm your beliefs on the opposite side of the decision, which is I'm going to go harder. I'm going to commit myself even more. And the next day was really when that thought came up, the Sunday after the loss. And yeah, I just was like, okay, let me think about this. Is that what I want to do? Absolutely fucking not. I'm doubling down. This is what I was made to do. I'm a fighter. I'm a winner. That was my worst performance ever. I didn't do good, and I know I could do better. One loss doesn't define me. And look at all the wins I have. Look at all the other amazing accomplishments I've had. And this loss, I believe, put me on a track that I was supposed to be on before.
Okay, so that thought just lasted like 24 hours, if that.
It lasted like 2 minutes.
Okay, wow.
I was just like, I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. You know, I had a bad performance. I'm going to take it on the chin. And also, a lot of people are following me. A lot of kids. A lot of people look up to me. And what am I going to do? Give up because I lost once when everything got hard? That's when I quit? No, I'm setting an example for other kids out there who are chasing wild dreams to not just stutter in the face of adversity. In the face of adversity, we rise, we get better, and we come back stronger. And that's really what I want to prove to people this Saturday is how to come back from a loss and how to take that and it only to make you better.
Okay, so if that's the mindset, why'd you choose Diaz instead of Fury 2 right away?
I mean, we were talking to Fury, you know, trying to make that happen, but the plan really always was to go to Nate Diaz after Tommy Fury. Like, even in the lead-up, it was Nate Diaz is after this. Nate Diaz is after this. Win, lose, or draw. And Nate Diaz is out of the UFC right now, and so you have to strike while the iron's hot. Who knows who he would have fought? I think he wants to go back to the UFC, so I'm taking this opportunity while it's here. And that Tommy fight is going to come soon enough.
So, Nate's manager and advisor, a guy by the name of Zach Rosenfield, told this story to ESPN today, to Mark Ramundi. He told it to me privately, but he said it publicly today. He said that their plan after that fight was to fight your brother Logan. And then there's an actor named Michael Rappaport. Are you familiar with Michael Rappaport? He's not the biggest fan of yours, but anyway, he's an actor and comedian. He was on my show, and he's a huge Diaz fan. And he said, you know what's the fight I want? I want Jake versus Nate. That's the fight. Zach was watching the show, and when he saw that and how Michael was so into it, in his mind, he said this publicly, he pivoted, he's like, forget about the Logan fight, we have to go after the Jake fight, and that's how it started to get in motion. Does that blow your mind that it, like, does that mean that like me and Michael kind of made this fight happen? That's basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean,
have you heard this story before?
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. Okay.
No, this it's news to me. But yeah, like I guess. Thanks, Ariel. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
know.
But at the end of the day, this fight was always on track, and I think my brother was trying to like figure out if it was going to be him. But I'm focused on Saturday. We locked it down, got it done, and it's a massive, massive fight. So it only makes sense for it to be me.
Can I ask you something? And I'm coming from a place where I have two older brothers. I have a tremendous amount of respect for your brother. I really enjoy him. I think he's doing amazing things in WWE, like we talked about. But I watched the documentary, which, by the way, I thought was fantastic. Congratulations on Netflix.
Thank you.
I've read the articles leading up to this fight. I talked to you a little bit yesterday at the face-to-face, which ended somewhat prematurely.
Yes.
I feel like there's something building here between you and Logan. And I know you guys had a beef in the past, but like you guys keep saying things about each other. And I'm like, and then he's trying to go for your fight. Am I crazy? Am I starting something here by asking this? Because I feel like there's something. There's a seed.
No. There's nothing going on.
There's nothing?
Between us. No. Not at all. I think when you're competing in the same sort of industries and doing a lot of similar things, there's going to be overlap. And really, he's my only competition. Like, who else is competing with me? There's nobody. Like, I don't even know who else to look for. So he inspires me. And we're also each other's best competitors. So I think that's where people see this like dynamic between us. But that's just always the way we've been. And without each other, we wouldn't be where we are today because we weren't we wouldn't have had the competitive nature to compete with each other to get to this level. So really, without one another, we wouldn't be here today, and that's the beauty of it.
Because you used to compete in the YouTube game, and that got squashed.
YouTube, football,
everything.
Everything when we were kids. I mean, that's what brothers do, and I think it's good. It's driven us to the highest level, and here we are now at the highest level, still pushing each other and being inspired by each other, and that's a beautiful story.
So are you saying you'll never fight him?
No, I would never fight him. There's no point. There's no point in fighting him. I think when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, this is fun, cool, make a bunch of money. But now it's just not the right example to set for other people, other kids, and there's no reason for us to do that.
Okay.
No one wins in that sense. Like,
okay.
Whoever would win, no one wins.
Okay. One other question about your family. I don't want to give too much away, but in the documentary, you reveal a lot about your childhood, and in particular, your relationship with your dad. This is a big week for you, a big fight for you. Has that been a distraction at all? That's some heavy stuff you talked about, and I'm just wondering how you're dealing with those emotions that come with that being public, and also this gigantic fight.
Yeah, definitely just focus on the fight. I'm sort of numb to everything else going on right now because I'm just like hyper focused and don't have any other energy to spare. So really the fight to me is all that matters. Like I don't go on my phone really during fight week. I'm not like focused on any of the comments or the drama going on around it.
Okay. You and Nate have been very respectful to each other. Were you surprised that he walked out yesterday in our face-to-face, which drops tonight, in the midst of you complimenting him?
Yeah, look, I mean, he's unpredictable. He's a wildcat, but I think it's a good thing. Right now, all the headlines are going to say, Nate Diaz leaves face-to-face. All the fight pages already all posted it. So, in a way, it's actually better promotion for the fight. So, kudos to him. I don't know if he's doing this on purpose, but it's entertaining, man, and that's what the fans want. This is a spectacle. This is a war. This is fun. This is two big names. It feels big. The energy is right. So I'm just excited, and I have respect for him, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to knock him the fuck out. I'm going to sleep. I'm a vicious fighter. I've made a ton of sacrifice in this camp, and someone has to pay for that sacrifice.
Okay, so that said, this morning I wake up and there's a tweet from you where you're calling him a bully, and it's not so respectful. Why is he a bully?
I respect his career. I don't respect him as a person.
Why is that?
Difference. He's a bully. He's a punk. He beats up innocent people. He's always trying to cause a scene, throwing water bottles at people. He's always high. Like, what kind of example is that to set to everyone? Just smoking all the fucking time. I don't like these things about him, and someone has to bully the bully, and that's what I'm going to do on Saturday.
Any concerns, like tomorrow we have the final press conference, we have the weigh-ins on Friday. Any concerns about anything popping off between you guys?
I'm not concerned at all in the slightest. And at the end of the day, on Saturday, we get to settle it all.
Why were you okay with 10 rounds as opposed to 8?
I love a challenge. I love a challenge. Yeah, why not? I'm always pushing myself in these fights. I want to do things that no one at this point in their career, 3 years into boxing, has done, and that's doing a 10-round fight. I want to set the precedent, challenge myself, and push my limits, and that's exactly what I had to do. The fight being 10 rounds made me a better fighter for this camp, and I'm fully prepared for it.
Why did you change the vast majority of the people around you as far as your camp is concerned? There's no, BJ Flores isn't here, Shane Mosley is here, among others. Why did you do that?
Yeah, look, change is needed in life sometimes, and people go opposite ways, outgrow each other, and that's that. It's no harm, no foul. All the people that were on my team are amazing people, and I have respect for them, and they gave me a ton of boxing knowledge, which I am extremely grateful for. It's just that sometimes change is needed to shake up an environment and to start from scratch, and that's really what we did.
Can I ask how much you weigh right now, approximately?
Right now I'm like 193.
193. How much do you expect to weigh on Saturday?
Oh, I'm not sure. Probably like 196, 197.
What do you think he'll weigh? Like, do you think he'll have a noticeable size advantage? He's never fought at 185 before.
He looks big to me right now in person.
Okay.
He looks like he's walking around 190, 195.
He has still yet to accept the $10 million offer to fight you in MMA. I asked him just moments ago, and he says, I don't fight in other leagues. If we're going to fight, it's going to be in the UFC or my promotion. Would you be willing to do that?
Look, I mean, it would be his promotion with the PFL. For sure. It could be Real Fight Inc. and PFL. And to me, that's a cheap cop-out excuse.
He didn't completely shut it down, but the PFL component seems to be the issue with him. Is there any way around that, or if you're fighting MMA, it has to be PFL?
If I'm fighting MMA, it's in PFL.
Okay. You think it happens next year, 2024?
I mean, once I beat his ass on Saturday, he's going to want revenge.
No, I mean, with or without Nate?
Oh, potentially. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I want Nate. That's
Nate
who I
in
want.
MMA?
That's who I want. So if it's Nate, it's 2024, yeah.
And it's a $10 million offer.
Yes, for him.
And has he accepted it? Like behind the scenes, what is your hunch?
No, he hasn't accepted it. I think he's kind of leaving it open-ended to see what happens Saturday.
Okay, if you beat him, do you think he says yes to it?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll want that get back. And he'll realize that he's not going to get as much money once he loses to me anywhere else.
Do you think he goes back to the UFC if he wins?
He's not going to win.
So don't even think about it. Are you surprised that he is so open to going back to the UFC after it was so hard to get out of the contract?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like, I guess he's a houseboy and loves to kiss the finger of Dana and to be a good old boy and obey all the rules. This might be too much work for him, honestly. People don't realize that in boxing, when you're your own promoter, it's a lot different. There's more work. There's more that goes into it, more press requirements. So he might not like that. He might like just being a fighter and not caring as much about the business side.
Does the feud between MMA end on Saturday, win or lose? And I know you're confident that you're going to win, but is this the final guy? Is this the final boss, as they say?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know who else is left.
Well, there's one name that's left, right?
McChicken?
Conor.
McChicken. Yeah, I mean, he don't want the smoke. He's an alcoholic. He's a drug addict. He's out there getting, causing all these problems, about to go to jail for all of this crazy shit. He's not even worried about fighting right now. Right now, he's worried about being a free man.
So in your mind, you move on. And then what direction are we taking?
I'm just going to keep on going back to the drawing board and seeing what names there are and continuing to get better. And my goal is to become a world champion. And so I'll just be training and see what names come up, and we'll go with that.
Are there any names in boxing right now that are of interest to you?
There are, but I'm focused on Saturday.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out Nate, and then we'll see what happens.
And just a couple more for you, if I may. What about the state of boxing right now? I was making this point earlier. 2020, when you got in as a pro, boxing was in a much different place. And right now it's like week after week bang. We're coming off Spence Crawford. Now in a way we've got AJ fighting. We've got Canelo fighting Charlo in September. Like, you can make a case right now that boxing is hotter than MMA in terms of big fights consistently week after week after week. Does Jake Paul take any credit for that?
Oh, well, I think I'm a part of it. I'm a part of the big picture. But really, boxing is the key here. It's the best sport in the world. And all of us as fighters are working to contribute to grow this sport. And I think maybe I set a precedent of taking big fights and laying it all out on the line. And I think a lot of fighters followed suit. Oh, Jake Paul came into this sport in 2 years and made $45 million in a year. But meanwhile, I haven't fought the big fight and I'm making maybe $500K, maybe $50,000. I need to lay it all out on the line. So I believe I did set that precedent and showed people the roadmap to making a lot of money and promoting these fights. But it's a group effort, and I commend all these fighters for doing that. But definitely boxing's on top of MMA right now, no question. Okay. Not even close.
Well, one of your good friends, part of the MVP stable, Amanda Serrano, we broke the news here. She is going back to MMA at some point. She has signed with PFL. She'll be a part of your pay-per-view super fight series?
In the PFL?
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Or she might just be like...
I think she's going to do her own fights, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
But we could get a card maybe with you and Francis and her all in the PFL?
MMA night.
In MMA. Do you like the idea of her going back to MMA?
100%. She's undefeated in MMA, which a lot of people don't realize that about Amanda Serrano. And it's what makes her, I think, the greatest woman of all time is because of how versatile she is.
Okay, your mic is dying, so let me end on this if I can. Prediction. What is the? I'll just give you the mic, so you put that down. Official prediction. You've got so much power, Jake, that you killed our mic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Crazy how that works. It's unbelievable. Oh, you got a new mic. Okay, we don't have to do this anymore. What is the prediction? What do you think?
My prediction is a 5th round knockout.
5th round.
Yep.
Wow, specific.
Yep.
Why are you feeling that?
I'm just gonna feel him out. weather the storm and then put him to sleep.
Okay. Are you worried about anything? You know, the punches and bunches, the volume, the awkwardness. Is there anything that he brings to the table that is giving you any kind of concern here 3 days before the fight?
I'm not concerned. I know I want it more. I know what I did in training, and we had people that mimic exactly how he fights. And yeah, he's going to maybe land a couple of punches. That's the name of the game. That only wakes me up. I'm going to get hit and hit him harder and keep on going and weather the storm and end his career.
Is there any chance, if things maybe don't, is there any chance this is your last fight?
No shot. I'm going to win.
All right.
I'm going to win.
What if you win? Is there any chance it's your last fight?
No, I'm just getting started.
All right.
Let's
I
go.
love it. Thanks, my man. Appreciate it. All the best. There he is, Jake Paul.
Drink Celsius.
Yes. That was great stuff. Some good answers there, some revealing stuff, some fun stuff. Jake Paul, the problem child.